The Browns losers to the Titans 12-9 in overtime. Mary Kay and Hugh Jackson again shuffling his quarterbacks. DeShone Kizer pulled from this game after 2 interceptions in favor of Cody Kessler. And here we go, quarterback decision time coming later this week.
Yeah, you know what? He said everything is on the table for London. I mean, they are going across the pond, and right now they have no idea who the starting quarterback is going to be. That means it could be DeShone Kizer. It could be Cody Kessler, who I think it will probably be, or it could be Kevin Hogan. He still has badly bruised ribs. So I'm going to guess Cody Kessler at this point. But once again, like you said, he was yanked in the third quarter after 2 more interceptions for a total of 11 this season. And, I thought he showed a little bit of growth early on in the game, but Hugh is not going to tolerate those picks.
And it puts this team in a tough position because, like you said, they are going to London. That means they're going to get on a plane on Wednesday. They're going to get on the field off the plane and practice on Thursday. But your schedule completely thrown off. And if they're getting used to Cody Kessler again, it could cause some problems.
Yeah, it's going to be a short week, a very long trip, and the team has a lot of things to figure out right now, including, what has to go into the quarterback decision right now is, something that, happened Friday night.
Yeah, DeShone Kizer reportedly out on Friday night at about 1:30 a.m. Hugh Jackson didn't sound too pleased about it after the game. Kizer didn't want to talk about it. We'll get into this, does it matter? But, does it matter that Kizer was out that late?
Well, you know what? They don't practice until mid-afternoon on Saturday. So, from that standpoint, you can still get a good night's sleep and get to work on time. And we have no idea what he was necessarily doing while he was out in the bar. He might have just been socializing and talking to people. And so I think if he has a sit-down with Hugh Jackson, explains that he might be able to get himself out of the little tiny bit of hot water that he might be in for this, but I think Hugh Jackson's trying to say that's not a good look when we're an 0-6 football team. I've just reinstated you as the starting quarterback. There shouldn't be video of you out until 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday night.
Speaking of things that aren't a good look, Kenny Britt just continues to be a problem for this team. Sent home from Houston with Corey Coleman for missing that curfew on Saturday night. And then today just didn't really show up, didn't play well, and had a ball that he should have caught that could have helped the Browns win this game.
Yeah, that was in overtime. It was a sideline. Basically, I guess you'd have to call it a drop again, some pass that he should have caught. And that's not a good look for him either, again, in a game when he actually started the game. I was very surprised about that. I thought that he would not start the game and maybe come in off the bench after having been sent home from Houston last week for missing that curfew. So there are some issues going on the team right now.
And lastly, we've got to talk about Joe Thomas. His consecutive snap streak comes to an end. He was in a sling in the locker room after the game. He's going to have an MRI on Monday. This is going to be, at the very least, a multi-week injury. I think it's safe to say that. We don't know yet if it's going to cost him his season, but of all the things that you think could go wrong with this team, losing Joe Thomas to injury just never felt like one of them. Here we are. It could be Spencer Drango at left tackle. We'll have time to get into that, but just Joe Thomas, that injury, it's killer for the team, but it's tough to see Joe out. You
know what? It was almost surreal seeing Joe Thomas laying there kind of writhing in pain, and Joe Bitonio described him as kind of like screaming a little bit. So, this could be a tricep tear. You have to almost go into it thinking the worst. Everybody's talking about it as being a very serious injury. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out for the rest of the season. Huge blow for the football team if that happens again. We'll know more tomorrow about that, but it looks to me like this could be very bad.
Yeah, not just bad on the field, but off the field as well. We'll see what happens. We'll have full coverage of the game today, and of course, the Joe Thomas news, everything else at cleveland.com/Browns.